Lovely to meet you.
Thank you, you too.
So I wanted to start off just by asking you about your journey to MYTHERESA and how that happened, because you've got quite an interesting story, with your previous job roles and then how you came to be in the role as president of North America now. So I just wanted to hear from you how that happened.
The truth is that I cold emailed the CEO. It's a true story. In the beginning of COVID, I was trying to figure out some things, and I made a list of 3 companies I was interested, and MYTHERESA was at the top of my list. I had known about them from my days at Net-a-Porter, just it being in Europe and the market, and I felt very strongly that MYTHERESA had a place in the US market or the Americas. Just people needed to know about them. And I cold emailed the CEO, and then I joined.
I love that. That's amazing.
I'm a big fan of going after what it is you want.
Yeah.
So this was that, just going after knowing what I wanted. I figured out his email address and emailed.
So you've been in the US since 2021.
So MYTHERESA has actually shipped globally since it opened in 2006. What happened in 2021 is that there was energy and effort put into the Americas to make it more of a presence. We're now a team of approximately 30 people, and it was the first time there were people in the US. We have an office, and part of our teams are on the East Coast, West Coast, and the South. And we're building brand awareness and client engagement here in the Americas now, which has been what we've been focused on since 2021.
And that's going quite well as far as I understand, right? You've had a pretty good growth trajectory so far. Can you share a bit more about that entry into the market, as being within the US, and how you've managed to build the brand so far?
So when we first started, we really targeted different regions. Some activity we did was in New York, some activity we did was in California, trying to communicate the message of who is MYTHERESA and how are we different, and how do we fill the need of a luxury enthusiast consumer. And that took a little bit of time, because at the beginning, people kept comparing us to other companies. And as we've grown and as we've engaged with, new customers or existing customers and speaking to the services that we have and really cultivating a community, they've helped us also tell our story. And I think what people realized over time is that the MYTHERESA offering, there's so many things we do, from the products that we offer, like our product curation, to the services we provide through personal shopping and or our shipping platforms. So all of these things really differentiate us. And I do believe that the trajectory of growth has also been because of the grassroots initiatives that we've taken. We've really gone into markets that many people might not speak about, but through research, through our personal shopping team, we've identified different communities where if we could go in there and tell our story and almost create ambassadors, if you will, we would grow. And the team has been incredible. And they see the success because of the work that they've put into it.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of talk about that community building aspect that you've done as well. Can you share a few examples of the specifics around what you've done, and also how brand experiences play into that as well?
There are many different types of programs that we do across the globe, to be honest. There's big brand activations that we've had. I'm sure you've seen them on Instagram, where we collaborate with a lot of our partners, whether it's Dolce & Gabbana or Brunello Cucinelli, for these incredible experiences where we invite our top clients to experience it as well. And that creates a community, because you go to Capri and you have this incredible 2-day experience and you meet new people, and then you might continue, which we find a lot, to speak with those people. And at the end of the day, you met that person at a MyTheresa event, right? So that creates one form of community. Another form of community is when we identify what I would call hosts in different cities across the US and Canada. And the hosts are typically identified through personal shopping who, you know, they'll say that they have a client who lives in, I don't know, North Carolina, and this client is very involved in different philanthropic organizations, but one is very passionate. And we go into North Carolina with the host, into his or her community. We do a shopping event. We contribute a percentage of the sales from that event to the host's charity. And we meet all of the host's friends and introduce ourselves and create a connection. And the connection is really what helps us develop the relationship that's longstanding. The other thing that we do is we do some pop-up experiences. We popped up with Flamingo Estate. This is now actually our third time. So last summer in East Hampton, in the winter, we did a gingerbread house in LA, and now we're back to East Hampton again. And these types of experiences allow us to engage, connect, reconnect, re-engage with existing and new clients who have never heard about MyTheresa. You come in, you walk around, you have a glass of rosé, you look at, you know, all of the products, you try on all the beautiful fine jewelry, you meet new people. That's like a different form of experience. And I think what's been really interesting about people since COVID, and I know there's been a lot of talk about this, but like after people were home for so long, they wanted to get out and they wanted to connect. And I think this connection and going and occasion driven dressing is something that really has continued since the COVID days. I mean, we all went out to dinner. I'm not saying before COVID, no one went out, but it's almost like an appreciation for experiences and in different moments more than anything else that drives us to do these experiential pop-ups. So these are all different, and there's more, but these are like examples of ways that we create experiences for existing and new clients.
Okay, so you have these amazing in-person experiences that you create. How do you then marry those and continue the conversation back to online? Obviously, I imagine you have to kind of continue to curate these experiences for these very important clients. But are you then able to kind of continue that conversation digitally? And if so, how do you do that?
So it's a lot about just speaking with people. So we text or WhatsApp or go to lunch with, and we continue that relationship. I would say that all of these programs that we do are like physical manifestations of the digital website. Of course, the consumer could always go transact, right? The website, the way I think about our business is that it's really, we have the physical conversations, and we also digitally, we're extremely transactional. So we continue the physical conversations even while people are digitally transacting. And then our personal shopping team also has the tools to help you transact so that if you don't want to go to the website at all, they'll take care of it for you.
Amazing. Yeah, I like that. Obviously, you're a digital first company, right? And you started there, but it's like, how do you embed that then and translate that brand into these community experiences? Sounds like you've done an excellent job of it as well. So speaking about digital now, I saw that you've launched a partnership with Apple Vision Pro, which looks like a pretty interesting campaign. Can you tell us more about what that involves and how that partnership came about?
So they reached out to us through a company called Obsess that does a lot of beta testing in the technology space for Apple. And they asked us if we wanted to be the partner for luxury retail, which we did. And I think that the reason we did is that our luxury enthusiasts who shop with us, they also like to be first in new technologies that help extend their, enhance their lives. And when discussing Apple Vision Pro and what we wanted to do, we actually leaned back into experiences. So for MYTHERESA, we built an app that takes you to one of two places. You could either go to Capri or you could go to Paris. And once you're there, and I don't know if you've ever tried Apple Vision Pro, but it is incredible. The technology, the layering is incredible. You feel like you're in Capri and you feel like you're in Paris. And our layer, like the transactional layer, is what would you wear? We make recommendations of what you would wear when you're in these locations. But in addition to the transaction, it's almost like you can't, but it's so real. The technology, you feel like you're in Capri. Like you almost could smell the sea. It's incredible. Anyway, so from our side, though, we also recommend different things that you could wear and you can transact. And that was our partnership with them.
That's incredible. I was speaking to someone today and he's saying that instead of the mouse, you do this with your fingers or something. Yeah. He's saying that once you get that, it's like, why would I ever use a physical laptop?
No, it takes a minute because you have to teach yourself a new movement. But once you get it, it's incredible. There's an app that it comes with. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like these dinosaurs. You almost feel like you're in Jurassic Park. It's so cool. It's so cool.
That's awesome. Okay, so speaking a bit more widely around tech, and this can be, I guess, any part of the business, whether it's operational or marketing, is there a particular tech that you're interested in implementing that you think is going to kind of change the game? I mean, that one I feel is already changing the game, but yeah, on top of that.
I know this is like super cliche, but I feel like AI.
Yeah, it's got to be said.
Yeah, we're exploring different ways to use it, but I think outside of MYTHERESA alone, I think it will change the game of the world. Just trying to figure out the balance and where to use it to enhance versus just to add another layer of work is one of the things every single business is looking at today. I do think over time it'll just change. It'll change the way we live and operate our businesses. Doesn't mean I think we're going to be the Jetsons tomorrow. It just means that I think there are so many enhancements and cool ways it can be used to make us even more efficient in the work that we do. It's just going to take some time.
All right, final question, because we're coming up to the end of time now, but you're delivering our keynote at FUTR in New York, which I'm very excited about, especially having heard some of these initiatives that you've been running. So the theme of those opening sessions is around the future consumer. So can you tell me, to your organization, what you see as your future consumer?
So I think the biggest thing about consumers is that the largest luxury they have is time. I think if you asked anyone what they would want more of in their day, it would be time. And I think that the future consumer is going to be looking to the services that different businesses can provide to them to give them even more time, which makes business owners need to be smarter about the initiatives that they're doing and how it enhances the consumer's life. Because if we think they don't have time today, tomorrow they're going to have even less time. And to me, that's the future consumer. And winning will be the companies that have the best services in their programs to enhance the lives of the consumer more than ever before.
That's a great answer and a great place to leave it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.